Oh, she was so happy. She thought, my goodness, my husband is dead, but now he came back as a voice, he came back as a swan, and now he's helping me. And she cried because she was so happy. And she put this money in a small bag, and she used this money very, very carefully. She wanted this money, some coins, to last for a long time. And so she used it very carefully. But after several months, the money was gone. When she used the last money, she felt very, very lonely again, just like the time when she first became a widow. She was a widow, she lost her husband. She didn't know what to do, and again the children began to cry. The children began to say they were hungry, and she didn't know what to do. And then she was sleeping one night, and then the voice came back. The voice said, "I'm back, woman. Come outside. A swan is waiting for you." So she went outside, and again the same swan was outside. She went to close to the swan, and the swan talked to her and said, "Pluck a feather." And so she went close, and she saw a little larger feather than last time. So she plucked a larger feather. And she went home and put the feather next to her pillow and went to sleep. The next day, when she woke up, guess what? A bigger pile, more money this time than before, was next to the pillow. And this time, the woman laughed. She didn't cry because she was happy, but she laughed. She said, "Ha, ha, good, more money." And this time, she called her children and said, "Hey, children, come, I'll give you some money, go buy candies." And then she put all this money in a little bag, and she went downtown. She went downtown, she went to a big city, and she knocked on the door of a gambling house. She knocked on the gambling house, of the door of the gambling house, and a man came out from the house, and the man said, "What do you want?" And the woman said, "I want to gamble." The gambler said, "Do you have money?" And she said, "Oh yes, look, I have money." And so the gambler said, "Come on in." She went inside and she started gambling because she wanted to double the money. She wanted to have the money. She had money, but she wanted to double, twice as much. She wanted to double the money, and so she went to a gambling house and she started gambling. She used dice, she used cards, and she used something else. But by nightfall, by that evening, she lost all the money. The money was all gone. She was angry. Oh, I lost all the money. She was angry, and at the same time she was very depressed. Oh shucks, what am I going to do? My husband, the voice is going to be angry. He will not help me again. So she went home. The children ate candies, but they were still hungry, so they said, "Mommy, we're hungry." But the woman said, "Sorry, no food." And she went to sleep. And then when she was sleeping, guess what? The voice came back again. The voice, the husband was dead, but he was still very kind. He had a very big heart. He was a generous man. He was very giving. So the man came back as a voice again, and he said, "Woman, come outside. The swan is waiting." So this woman went outside, and she was so happy to see the swan again. She went and saw the swan, and the swan said, "Take a feather." But then this time, guess what she did? She began to pluck not just one feather, but began to pluck as many feathers as she could. She began to pluck. She began to pull many, many feathers because she wanted to have more money. She was very, very greedy. You see, when you pluck a hair or pluck something, it really it hurts. When you go like this, you pluck your hair with a tweezer, it really hurts. You go, oh yuck, it hurts. Well, it hurt the swan, when the woman was going like this, the swan was going, It was really paying for the feather, no, for the swan. But the woman didn't care because she was so greedy. She wanted to have more money. She began to pluck as many feathers as she could. She had lots and lots of feathers, and she went home and put the feathers next to her pillow, and she said, with this much feather, I will be okay. And she went to sleep. The next day when she woke up, of course she looked for the money. She was expecting to have a big pile of golden coins, but there was no money. All she saw was dirty, gray, dull-looking, dirty, dead swan's gray feathers. And she was very disappointed, but then the voice came back, and this time the voice said, wife, you are not a good woman. You are very greedy. You do not deserve my help anymore. Deserve means you are not worthy enough to receive my kindness. You are not good enough. You are a very bad woman. You don't deserve my help anymore. And then the voice left, and the golden swan never returned. The end.